This is not your typical glider. This one is built for speed and maneuverability. A plane that doesn't care if it's too windy to fly. A sleek Warmliner at an affordable price. If looks could kill, she'd be on trial for mass genocide. Promises, promises. Is she a tease or the real thing? A box. A plane. Bubble wrap. What more could you ask for? Just 6 major pieces comprise the Rapide kit. A 950 kV outrunner motor is neatly mounted with cooling holes, while the fuselage is pre-decorated and rudder linkages are set up from the factory. A simple twist to the latch and the canopy comes off easily. Inside, we have a 40 amp speed controller suitable for up to 4S lipos. While the model is mostly aerosol foam, the fuselage has interior and exterior plastic reinforcement at strategic locations. Wing reinforcement is one step further with embedded carbon fiber laminations. Note that there is a spot for optional flap servos. The 13x7 folding prop looks pretty sturdy and has a small cooling hole in the spinner. The 15-page manual is well illustrated and generally easy to follow. My kit came with a supplement to better explain how to install the elevator. The first step is to install the elevator spar, which per the supplement needed the hole to be slightly enlarged with a drill bit. Add the spacers, slide in the elevator rods, slide everything into place, and lock it down with a few twists of the screwdriver. In the interest of science, I decided to add the optional flaps. There is a flap linkage kit sold separately, but I was able to use spare parts found around my workshop. First, I removed the foam plug from the servo slot. Then I cut out the flap section per the manual. Next, add the servo control horn. Then insert the flap servo and control linkage. And don't forget to glue the servo in. The wings are assembled by first installing the carbon spar into one wing half, then sliding the whole assembly into the fuselage. The fit is a bit tight, so be patient and work it in carefully. A single large Jesus screw keeps the wing halves together. For the prop, remove the spinner, locate the flat part on the motor shaft, mount the prop hub, and reattach the spinner. A quick control check shows everything is a go. Out of the field, it was Judgment Day. Hand launching is a non-event, even at partial throttle. Running a couple of laps to set the trims, which I did notice needed more up than expected. However, I immediately found the Rapide easy to fly and a delight. Aileron control is responsive, but not twitchy, though I did think the elevator response was a bit mild. Rudder authority is decent enough for hammerheads, but not quite enough for a sustained knife edge. Inverted flight is a non-issue and just as easy as upright. She just goes where you point it and doesn't complain. Full throttle straight uphill will put it out of sight in a hurry.
Pretty good.
Downhill with the motor off, she'll rival speeds of any powered plane. and whistle while doing it. To see how fast she could go, I decided to try a near vertical power-off dive.
Power dive.
And then it happened.
Whoa! That's some flutter.
Seems I hit the terminal speed and the aileron started to flutter. Not wanting to push my luck, I lowered the flaps and set up for a landing. With flaps, there is a noticeable pitch up. You'll definitely need to mix some down trim with the flaps. My first attempt at landing overshot by a wide margin as I forgot to lower the flaps again. The second time with flaps was better, though I had to fight the outer trim condition.
Touch and go?
Back in the workshop, I need to see how to get more elevator throw. Removing the servo cover, I discovered that the control rod was hitting the servo shaft, causing it to bind. I also noticed that I had needed a lot of up trim. So I marked the trim location, reset the transmitter trim back to neutral, thus moving the servo arm up, then screwed in the clevis a few turns back to the mark I just made. With that, I was finally able to get to the high throws without binding. Back for round 2, I self-launched the Rapide, which is a non-issue. She just flies right out of my hands. The extra elevator throw made a noticeable improvement in performance.
Yep. Power off.
I also took a moment to test the flap to elevator trim mixing I programmed into the transmitter. Just a touch of down the elevator when the flaps are lowered is a great help, and the Rapide is very well balanced at low speeds with the flaps down. She could probably thermal that configuration on a good day. But this plane is too fun to simply slowpoke around the sky. It wants to be free and tear up the skies. One of my favorite maneuvers is the power-off dive, level out, and then pull hard into implement reversal. The wings will flex a bit, but she holds together better than a Millennium Falcon. Even inverted, she's pretty snappy. I was having so much fun, I decided to tempt fate once again and see if I could get her to flutter. So up into the stratosphere, and nothing. Even after several aggressive dives, I just couldn't get any more fluttering. Very odd indeed. With the flutter test done, it was back to throwing her around the sky. I think the best way to fly Rapide is with no power. You can do numerous consecutive loops and rolls, all power off. If you're doing these things under power, you're doing it wrong. The Rapide is a bit like a Q ship. Its glider-like appearance hides its deeper, darker side, that of a high-speed boom and zoom plane. Sure, you can fly around like a power plane, or maybe even a thermal glider, but that's not where it really shines. It is really in its element when the motor's off and you're relying on just potential energy and clean aerodynamics to scream across the sky. to challenge yourself to see all kinds of neat things you can do with it without even touching the throttle stick. To find the limits of its ability while having fun doing it. This is a plane for those who want to taste of what it's like to fly a high-performance hotliner without the high cost of a fully composite plane.
It's impossible to get the pull up.